Hello and welcome. It is that of the 25th day of July. Year is 2019. My name is Derek, and this is the Money Charts channel. Like always, all bets, trades, and of the like, within each's own risk and their own reward. In this video, I'm going to be going over first on Bitcoin. Then I'm going to be talking about my portfolio, percentage ownership of the coins that I have, and how I want to adjust it, mainly regarding that of Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. So we'll take a look at those markets. As well, gold and silver, I got to take another peek at that at the end of this video as well. So let's get started. Market, of course, having a phenomenal rally up to 20,000, ending the year 2017, and then ending the year 2018 falling down to 3,000 with a little over half a year into this year. Price action has managed to make it up to about 14, and right now, as technical analysis goes, within these Fibonacci lines, which represents fib from the lows of here and the highs up here. All right then. So this 6,300 level was a 38.2% level, and this is 61.8, 76.4, and I think it's 85% at 15,000. I'm gonna stop counting after that because at breaking 15, I'll be looking for previous high at 20. But where we stand today, it's got to break this range either to the upside or the downside. Right now, it's on test number 3 of the support area. There's been 2 tests of resistance. We've had excitation of the 18 average here a couple days ago, pausing it yesterday. But so far today, getting up to the 18 average and a little bit above. But for what it's worth on a bearish level, it still has to get above this trend line. And really, it's got to get above the 18 average of highs. So it's still, that's maybe the next resistance test would be a match of this previous level. If it does do such with the higher low, that's definitely more optimistic because that is still unlikely in these bear market events after it breaks down below here. But a little bit of a rally, you have a point A high, point B low. You'd have to think on a bearish level, it could come easily up to about 10,004. Maybe meet up with the highs there in a couple of days, but I would say come into this level. If it gets above it, even up to the 18 average of highs, I'm going to be very leery on a bearish side getting there. And holding and staying above it, meaning 11,004, 11,003 area, I think that this is going to be ready to make a move to the next high of the would be a third hit level of 12 point, about 13,000. Let's switch this off to the tether, and I'm going to add Fibonacci lines, but not quite yet, from this high and this low. All right then. So let's get to the hour. That's the one I want to go on. Last night at 20 hours, 8 p.m. New York time, we were in this downtrend from point high to point low. Several resistance tests in the 18, but this one got above it very convincingly. And it's convincingly had a sideways correction of nice proportions. Support coming in basically at 10,000, resistance coming in originally at around 10.15 to 10.17, 10,150 to 10,170. It has since reduced its more shorter term resistance at around 10,115, and it's holding in this area right now in the 15. So I like seeing this in here. But like I've stated before, there's just so many situations you're going to have an up or a down move of decent proportions like we see. And then this is just textbook or prototypical going sideways for what you would want to see in like a bullish flag. And this is on extreme low volatility because the size, and one way you can calculate it is, well, you figure out how much did it retrace from a breakout point to in here. And this to me, just looking blindly, looks like a 25% correction, not maybe 23, 25%, which isn't much at all. So as far as some Fibonacci is concerned, let's take this high in here, and the high comes in at 13,970. So I'm going to take that number, I'm going to divide it by the low, which is around 91. 9,060, it looks like. Yeah. So we'll put that number in. So it'd be 13.9 divided by 960. That'd be about almost 1.5, 1.46 or something. To the root of 0.382 to the root of these numbers here. The up target is to the root of 1.618, and the down target is to the root of negative 0.618. With that being said, you could give a case for, is this Fibonacci upside? I'm looking for an uptrend going lower. No, this is upside. The upside target breaking this level of resistance is 18,257, which would be a pierce below previous high. Okay, so the key numbers I'm looking at is 10,690 and 11,840. So 10,690. This is probably where the next key resistance level has already came up to. As we can see, resistance very beautifully like it usually does. Hitting it there, having that failed breakout above it, and the decent sized move, retracing about 78% from here to here on this low. Okay, so in a situation of Fibonacci, you got those two lines. So the line above that is 11,840. Let's put that in as well too. So in any type of break above this level, I'll be looking for a move most likely piercing above. This always pierces extra, it seems. I mean, not always, but a lot more than way. The rate. Okay, I just thought of something cool. The ratio of how much it goes over the 18 when it pierces above versus piercing below is so out of whack. It's as out of whack as my gold to silver ratio, my personal one, for how much more silver I own than gold. It's like way, way more silver than gold, way, way more times it pierces extra. Okay, that's just how it is. And of course, the 61A from here to here, it most certainly pierced extra there as well. So on a break above, I would expect it to go probably close to 12,000 and maybe even a little bit above it, but piercing above 11,840. And on the 3-hour term time frame, nice little bullish flag in here, just a small pausing volatility on the move, just a tremendous look so far. And transitioning to portfolio management for myself, something I do a decent amount of, and I've been doing more today, looking at charts, looking at these numbers, and I know where I'm going from here, and I'm going to explain it. So my portfolio of cryptos, 41.44% of it is Litecoin. 2/9, or 22.22%, is the regular Bitcoin core, Bitcoin. Theta token is in at 8.79%. I'm very happy with that number right now. I really want the ratio and the market values to bring that up and down. I don't want to add or reduce that number because I think it's out of whack. Bitcoin Cash I do think is out of whack. It's only at 6.28%, and that number's got to go higher. I'm going to explain that more when we go into the Bitcoin charts. I'm going to transition into Litecoin, Bitcoin, and then those two together. DGB at 4.3.6%, I'm extremely happy with. I scaled down that a little bit over the last month or so, but it's at a high-low amount that I like. It's high enough where it's got potential to give me some very good gains. But it's also low enough where if that thing strikes out on me, is another way of putting it, well, I mean, it's going to be, it's not going to hurt as much as the Cryptopia loss that I've had. And on the others are everything else. I mean, there's over a dozen of them. Your Waves token, your Komodo, your Go Chain, Sky, Ethereum Classic, Ripple, Qtum, and a whole bunch of others. 16.9.2% with a star, asterisk. And that includes everything but BNB, because I'm not tracking that. I mean, I am, but not on my spreadsheet. It's only used right now for fees, and it's like 0.1% of my net portfolio. And there's a long, long, long ways away. It's been re-upped, basically, until I'm going to need it again. I don't think I'm going to need to buy any for the rest of the year. And not counting BNB, and even counting it, it's not much higher. Only 2.2% of my crypto portfolio is on exchanges, which means that the other 97.5% is on assorted wallets. The Trezor wallet, Other alt wallets where I have the private keys, like I explained with Theta. The Atomic wallet is a wallet I really like as well, and I control, of course, the private key. So they're sorted wallets of the like. So then, the way I'm looking at it is, I believe my Bitcoin Cash number is way too low. I could take from Bitcoin, but I really don't want to. Right, not right now, anyway. And I know 22% is still pretty high. It's a very easy way just to buy a little bit of Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin is the easiest way. And the way I'm looking at it is, I could just take a little bit of Litecoin. I could bring that number from 44 down to 40% so easy, and I'm still got a lot of Litecoin. But I'm not going to do that. Not now. As far as how we see this, like 18 losing half of its value in just a quick period of time. Second week of June, and it bottoms in the third week of July. That's about 5 weeks. Okay, it's now holding the 18 average since then. Nothing to show yet that it's breaking it. It's got to get above this high, really above the 10 number. It is holding the 18 lows very nicely, and it made a nice little breakout above the highs in this area. So I'd like to see it hold in this lower area, which means shorter term time frame. Can I see it a little bit clearly? Well, yeah, we had this established support at a failed breakdown. As the failed breakdown, of course, is this from this level of support. It got back into this congestion range and even to the upper end, but since it got to the upper end, it's having a huge correctionary phase in here within this level of support, coming back to where it came from. So now that it has this, getting above here, it still can, and it looked like it was going to have a big move. But as I say in the still can, part of it is you go up, you come back to correctionary phase, and then you leave. So if you have exitation, you see price in the 96.5, 97 area, this thing would probably be heading into lower than a 100 to 1 ratio or greater than 0.01 coming soon. And soon is like minutes and hours. Moving on to Bitcoin Cash, it's just chopping around, just yada 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 on the 3 hour term. On its daily term time frame, all it's doing is starting to flatten out the band. I talked a lot about this level of resistance. So from its June high, it's went from 50 down to basically losing half of its value as well. And resisting this from the last time, yeah, straight downward move. Markets go up, markets go down. At some point, it's going to get above the 18 average of highs and have some phenomenal moves. Now, as I look at this on a long-term situation, and I was watching, and it makes sense because one of the people mentioned in a podcast that I seen was talking about in the future how, like, we're talking like everyday merchants that you go to. You go to your everyday grocery store, your Walmarts, your whatever, your stores everywhere. And you're going to see an influx of people taking Bitcoin Cash but not taking Bitcoin. It's not, I mean, you go to a car dealership, that's a different story. But your normal everyday, I'm buying this for $7 or $50 kind of shopping. It's just, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So I want to have a good accumulation, and I just don't think I own enough Bitcoin Cash at a little over 6%. So with that being said, most likely my biggest prime suspect, not suspect, but target level, what do I buy it with? Do I take precious metals to buy it? Not even maybe. Do I take cash to buy it? I don't need to. I'm very good at increasing my portfolio, doing all the trading that I'm doing. And of course, when markets go much higher and I can manage my portfolio when a lot of things change amongst maybe dartboard rallies, then I can come up with ideas then. But the ideas that I have now is just simply turning Litecoin into BCH. And let's bring up that crossing. Right now it takes 3.2 Litecoin, 3.25, to buy 1 Bitcoin Cash. Now, as I'm looking at this chart, and I've been studying it for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes today, my bet is it's going lower. So I'm thinking if this thing goes down between 2.5 and 2.25 again, then it might be a good time to make a super extra aggressive play into increasing the stake value. Outside of the normal ratio trading, it would also be doing as it is. Yes, I'm trading these two together. I highly recommend and disrecommend it. I highly recommend it because to me, Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash right now are my two favorite coins moving into the future. to particularly overturn that of Bitcoin. Right now, they both got a long, long ways to go. Litecoin's in the lead over Bitcoin Cash as far as market cap, so but I wouldn't be surprised if both of them, but even Bitcoin Cash is worth more. So it's a long-term holding, and if I'm just going to hold them both anyway, I might as well trade them back and forth and just get whatever returns that I can over the next hundreds and hundreds of days moving forward. So that is why I recommend them. Now, the reason why I don't recommend it is because its volatility is just microscopically small. The amount of trades that I'm going to get trading stuff like, say, Litecoin and ThetaCoin and Litecoin and GoChain, amount compared to, say, Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash is just going to be lower. I'm going to get much higher returns on coin ownership on other pairings than I would with this one. But that's fine, though. And when I look at its volatility, I talk about how low and microscopic it is. Okay, let's just say that to a stock market trader where you say, yeah, by the way, earlier in March it was 2.25, and then it rallies on May 21st, a couple months later, to 4.75. So better than 100%. Oh, okay, really? Yeah. Well, before I move into longer term, as I see this in here, actually I got more charts I'm going to show. One more. So we have this move back to November 2018. Bitcoin Cash's birthday was August the 1st, 2017. So I got a little over 1 month of data that's not there. I got a lot of it I'm going to get in a bit, but this is just a better chart because it's Binance. I'll put the Huobi crossing up next after that, which has more data. So we have this original volatile move, at least for Bitcoin Cash, 688 down to 3, back up to 684. So yeah, again, tell a stock market trader that over the tune, this is November 28th, yeah, over the tune of less than a year, we've seen it go from this type of volatility. Yeah, bull S-H-I-T, they might be saying about it. They probably won't spell it, but yeah, I'm just, whatever. So but yes, there's no way that this is low volatile. This is huge. And, against the rest of the class, I suppose. But that's what I love about cryptocurrencies, because it has its high volatility, and it's all about what they say, profit from such. So we have the high in here, this level here. Let's put a line in here, but then you have this one. So from this point to this point, what does the market did? Well, it came back to this key low in here, and now it's had a lot of settling time within. The 18 average, having this failed breakout, down to this low. Another little bit of attempt, and it immediately rejected it. Now, since then, it's just hanging in there within the 18 average of lows. No excitation yet, but if I was to guess, was there a better chance of going here versus the same exact mathematical volatile move going down? What do I mean by the same mathematical? Well, let's say we're at 325 and we're talking about 265. Okay, well, let's divide those two numbers. So we'll go 325 divided by 265. That would work out to a 1.22x. So I'll multiply that by now the high number of 322, or 325 rather. So 400, we'll even say. So 400 and 265. What's more likely to happen next? Or 4 even, rather. So 4 or like 2.65. Especially with 4 being a spot where it's a significant break above here. Yeah, I would say 265. So I could just buy now, turn Litecoin into Bitcoin Cash, and then move my Bitcoin Cash to my wallet after I'm done. That's easy enough. But I would be saying to myself, man, I knew it was going to go down. It's down here. I could have just waited and then took that same Litecoin, or a bit more Litecoin if I want to do it, or a little less rather, and then have such a better result. Meaning, I could have, say, maybe instead of putting in 10 Litecoin, I could have put in 8.5, and got the same number. Or with the same 10, get more Bitcoin Cash, something like that. So I'm just going to wait it through, and then when the time comes right to make aggressive plays, do such. And the same goes with all my other pairings. Because if I get big moves where I just want to get out of Ripple, I want to get out of Neo for a decent amount because of sick gains, then I can put some of those into Bitcoin Cash. So that's the thing going on in my monkey brain right now. for where I plan on moving this. So let's now take a look at even further more, because yeah, this is going back to 2018, and this even looks more bearish on this when I take the 2017 data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Huobi. Well, first, yeah, Huobi. And we're looking for BCH BTC. And we'll divide that by Huobi again. Make sure I spell it right. And we'll go LTC BTC. So I get a bit more data. This goes back close, but not quite, to when this started. And we can see here August. Okay, no, throw that back. It happened when it started. August 1st was its birth date, 2017. All right then, we got what was major support here at around 5, which this was resisting here. Interesting, okay. And then, as I say in here on the 3-day, just like the daily, it's showing the bearish signals just hanging in there within the 18 lows like this. It just seems poised, and it has been for a while, like it's going to come down towards here. Now, ideally, what would be nice is have LITECOIN start a big rally, have a huge move over other coins, and then just stop. Stop as in go sideways, have a little bit of price correction, grind its way up, if anything, do one of those things, while all the other altcoins go up. And then, of course, originally it would be selling Litecoin for other coins and then getting my extra BCH I just talked about. And then as, of course, other coins go up, then I'll just buy back those Litecoin. But, I mean, the market's always going to do what it's going to do. But, yeah, seeing it in this form here, yeah, I think as we move forward, maybe this will go a little bit lower, maybe it won't. I mean, when you look at the volatility from here, this was already at 20 at one point back in here. So whether it can go down here into, I didn't mean to get a line. I meant to get my drawing tool, which is why it shook a little bit. Yeah, whether it go down in here, maybe. But I'm talking about it going up here on the more longer term time frame. So to be able to, and I've seen this before, maybe it does something like this. You have some spectacular moves. And then just do its thing. And that is why I want to make sure that as I just look at my portfolio, move it around, and I move my portfolio around over and over. And I think you need to if you want to have spectacular gains over performing the market. And I'm just going to keep doing matters amongst the situation. There's going to be a lot of volatility, but Coin Cash, it goes up like 7 times against the dollar or 20 times against the dollar. Bitcoin Cash is down 69% or 75%. That's the type of numbers I want to see, and I have been seeing and continue seeing moving forward. All right, let's finish this off within some gold. And you can't see it on today's session, but today's very volatile, which is this little smallish unvolatile daily move. That kind of doesn't make sense, but I guess it does. Failed breakout attempt on July the 18th. As it came back to where it came from. It hasn't went back up yet, but it hasn't failed its correctionary mode. In fact, it hasn't even went further enough to even do so, because the 18 average of lows is still well below it, and it's got a nice little uptrend of higher lows. It's got to get above the 18 average of highs, and it did earlier today. So just for the time being, I want to put a line right where the 18 average of highs is, because I'm looking at the short-term time frame next, and next is now. Let's skip right to the 3. So this level of resistance here, this line, of course, being the 18. And we can see after getting above on that failed move, this is the resisting it, pull back, resisting it, pull back, resisting it, pull back, and right now resisting it, and it's pulled back. But this one right now, the one we've just recently had, and this is very recent, as we are 2 hours and 48 minutes left in a 3-hour period, it has just begun. High vol. Another one. So one of the things I say, when you're 40%, 38% in the way into a period, you got good meat, good juice, good paint to it, good vol. You should have a lot of its volatility. And right now, we got good volatility for this right now, and we're only 12 minutes in. That's 12 minutes is 1/5 of an hour, so that's 1/15 of 3 hours. So we're barely into it, which tells you things are wild right now. Okay, so it's trying to get above this. It's already pulled back. We've seen it go down, so we're going to see a down move, at least shorter term. Single hour term time frame, very, very big green candle, but this is larger than it gave it all back and then some. Coming back to this multiple hit low. Okay. 15-minute term time frame. There we see getting above the 18 average of highs, but more importantly, this level and this level of resistance. Because more people see previous resistance. People don't see the front weighted average of highs too much in the market community. It's something I'm not going to say I invented or created, but I mean, I never heard of it until I thought of it. That I thought of it, I liked it, I've used it, and I still haven't stopped using it. That's how much I like it. Okay, so nice green candle move up, and look at all of this up, back down, up, and we can see that on this period, it rallied up to this top part and at least came down to this low. And in this period, it went up there and it came back down to this, down in here. So a lot of this volatility, and these three red candles, extreme, extreme volatility. I don't know if there's any news or whatever going on, and I don't care to even look at it, but there's your little box, as I've showed before. I'm not going to draw it in here, but you draw a line, it goes up, comes back into congestion area, and it went there, and it is having its fast move right now. And whenever, if it's done, it's done. I don't know. Because after all, this is just small movements when it comes down to it. Just on the 1 minute term, just to give an example, here was this big, big buy pulling back. Not too sure what other gold exchanges had. And then the rally attempt in here. Okay, we matched it and we're holding, and that's one of the things I like to see. And one of the things I learned back in the day, because this would have been esque-like, and I wasn't anywhere near as good as reading charts in 2009. But it was very common for me to learn how failed move, fast moves worked out, because maybe I'd be day trading something like this, and I'm like, oh, it's going to go higher, and I might be going long here. Oh, really? Yeah, failed move, fast move, and I got stopped out. And in a case like this, if it was that bad, I probably would have been stopped out maybe at 14.29 or whatever. But still, it was normal for me to just find all of those ones. So I learned pretty good how those failed moves turned into fast moves when it hurt my fiat dollar amount. A quick look to finish this off within silver and its ratio. Yeah, you know what? It's just hanging in there. It's actually doing worse than gold. Gold's pretty much like negative point, like 1/10% down, where silver is negative 0.5, which means that the gold to silver ratio is going up right now, but barely, as it included right now, and it can still go to another one. 4, 5, 6. Is it 8? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 days in a row with losses or declines of more than 0.5%, or increases over 0.5% on the other side, which I could probably do. Yeah, let's do this just for fun after I'm done. So therefore, we have all those down days. I mean, later in the day, if there's a big move, we could have another red one, and this will just turn into a line. But this is just a phenomenal, interesting thing to see, because I don't see much of it. Because it's more common to just have a move of this nature occur in 1 to 3 periods with no green interference up, which when 2, 3 periods be the case, or 1. But to do 8 consecutive ones like that, I find it a little bit fascinating. But with that being said, anytime we could have significant red candle downs moving forward and it's in dire need of a correction, I'm always going to be looking for the 18 for it. I mean, it doesn't mean anything for me as a trader, because there is no way I'm flipping one for another any time in the near future. And I'm using cryptos to determine when I buy gold and silver. So when reverting it to the silver to gold ratio, I have to reverse it, because silver is first and now gold is second. I multiplied it by 100 just so I can, for 100 ounces, just so I can see better numbers on the decimal system. Yeah, so straight days up. Now we take a look at this on the monthly chart. Just like the gold to silver ratio is going way up, well, this is going way down. This was at 3, now down to 1. So if the gold to silver ratio were to say go to Let's just say 1. What would that mean on here? 100, because it's 100 ounces of silver. Which I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to 10. Oh, I mean, obviously on the other end, but markets go up, markets go down. It's on the lower end of this. And I was even saying I wouldn't be surprised back in here if there was a leg breaking below because of the setups going beforehand. And it has happened. It could go lower, but we're going to talk about key highs and key lows. They're known after the fact. It's after the fact of this low. It's after the fact of this high. And of course, all the other ones that precede it. Oh, this was a low. No, no, it's not anymore because we've undercut it. And whenever we have it, there's going to be a low. But I could easily, in time, draw a circle there. Of course, the ratio will be the opposite. And then at some point, there's going to be a high above here. I just think aggressively, long term, many hundreds of days, probably even over 1,000 from now, into the 20s, that this is going to be an even par-to-par ratio, which is significantly higher than Europe. That's my prediction, and close to it. I really should be saying, let's go back to the regular ratio again. I'm expecting it to go to single digits. And again, it's going to take a long time to do it. And it's going to top at some point. Whether it could go over 100, maybe. But the run from this low to this high is going to then have a low after it. And down in here, easy. That's my prediction. I mean, this is nothing. This is being so conservative. Oh, I think it's going to go down to 50 again. That's just being conservative. Being extremely regressive is saying that this will get close to par, which I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if it does, because markets, when they have their up and down movements during price discovery periods, and this is an infinite ongoing situation of price discovery, they're going to have highs and lows that exceed, a lot of times even monstrously exceed, to where they should be at that time. So if it goes down to 1, well, that's much lower than it should be. And if this goes up to 120 or whatever, same situation. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.